Well, hello. Welcome to our channel. Today we have Alex Cànovas Martí Engli with us, and we're going to talk about some work that they are doing and some fields of their interest. So, if you want to present yourselves.
Well, my name is Alex. I'm currently studying the same degree as you, Biomedical Engineering in Pompeu Fabra. And I'm quite interested in 3D printing, so I hope that we will have fun speaking about it.
Yeah, and I'm Marty Engli, and I'm also a fourth year student of the Biomedical Engineering degree. And I'm also interested in 3D printing, Arduino, and entrepreneurship. So, well, let's have fun.
Okay, so I'll start off by saying, which was the main motivation to begin your 3D printing journey?
Well, for my case, it all started in the pandemic situation, in which I had a lot of time, and I always viewed these YouTube channels that use 3D printing for a lot of practical cases, and I saw that it was a very accessible and flexible technology. So I decided to buy one without knowing anything, and so I started, and I fell in love because I believe that there's a lot of levels of difficulty. Beginners can enter easily, and there's a lot of room for improvement.
Yeah, and well, in my case, it was like more case focused because I was interested in the role of 3D printing in the hospital. So I started looking into the internet all this stuff, and I finally ended in the Hospital Sant Joan de Déu doing my practical sessions there in the 3D printing unit. And then, we use 3D printing for like more focused applications, like printing anatomical models for surgeries and so on. So was like a more was like an interest that was focused with the degree. So, but finally, I learn a lot, and I also get interested in other topics of the 3D printing field.
Well, staying on topic, what are the more promising applications in our field that you may consider?
I believe that both of us can shed some light on it. Marty has worked more than myself in this field. From my experience, I believe that 3D printing, because its flexibility, it's very good for patient-specific approaches. Like I worked in brachytherapy, and the source had to go through a path that was designed on a computer. 3D printing allowed the clinicians to uh, have a very well designed pathway where the source passed. In the past, the clinicians did this by hand and the results were very bad. But thanks to 3D printing, this patient specific approach that they created, the prognosis of the patients was much, much better.
Yeah, so in my case, as I agree with Alex that 3D printing enables to get more patient-specific pieces. And well, in my case, what we do in the hospital is to print surgical guides to guide the surgeon into the surgeries. We also print anatomical models to better see, like for example, like I don't know, a maxillar before the surgery, so the surgeon can get an idea, a physical idea, instead of looking at an MRI or a DC before he or she performed the surgery. And also the guides, as I said, to put it in the correct place and then do the surgery easily, because the surgical guide marks the place where, for example, the surgeon needs to cut, and then the error margin that the surgeon has is lower.
Okay, so you consider? I wanted to ask, what is like the market for this product? How does it work on a hospital or on a company? Do they buy the machine or do they buy the pieces already when they're already manufactured? What's the
Well,
market for this kind of technology?
yeah, this is interesting because there are two types or two situations where the hospital can print the piece, but there are other pieces that, for example, the hospital doesn't have the capability and the machines to print it. So there are some pieces, for example, the heart that actually in the hospital that I'm working are like buying it to an external provider, and another pieces like, for example, I don't know, maxillars that we printed there with our printers. So there are places, in my opinion, for both situations. For some companies that provide some more complex anatomies, more complex pieces, and the role of the hospital that bring like more easily or more easy pieces.
Yeah, in my experience, it depends on the level of implication that the hospital wants to have with 3D printing, or in the innovation department, that if they want to develop it or not. Because as in my hospital, the machines that they had were very cheap, around 1,000, 2,000 euros. But then the machines that Martin, like my um mate, has in his hospital are hundreds of thousands of euros. So the implication of the hospital here is very important. But I believe that the important concept to have here is that it's a growing market, and for example, his hospital is being certified for being able to print medical devices in the hospital. So that's very big a step forward. And it really shows how the 3D printing can change the hospitals and its management.
And it's also very interesting how the 3D printer companies like start to create more specific sections in their departments for more medical printing, because I have also seen this in person, like for a company that will have their printer has created a new section that is a medical section, and then we have been in touch with their commercials, with their engineers, to get more focus in our application. So it's also been interesting, and as Alex said, I think that it's a very growing market.
So you would say that the tendency is to bring this kind of technology towards hospitals more and more with time, right?
Yeah, yes. For example, in my case, those herbs that were externalized, we are now trying to print in the hospital. Well, now we are like investigating how to do it, but the final aim is to print them also in the hospital, because the cost, it will also lower that externalizing this printing.
Yeah, nowadays there are a lot of hospitals trying to do this. It's not easy because they don't have experience in engineering. So they are starting to make some steps towards having engineering teams in hospitals, but it's still very at the beginning.
Well, one question now for both of you also. If you had to, well, I mean, you wanted to encourage newer students that are starting on biomedical engineering or this kind of mechanical engineering to try this 3D printing technology, what would you say to them?
Well, I would say it, and I would repeat myself again when I say that this technology is very accessible, meaning this that you can start with very basic concepts and with a small guidance. But if you really are interested in this world, you can start learning how to design in 3D with CAD softwares. You also get familiarized with CAM softwares, with our softwares to guide the instructions to the machine. So you can really get in depth, but it's not really necessary. So it's a very accessible technology, not only by its difficulty, but also by its price. I mean, a personal 3D printer nowadays costs around 300 euros, so it's really accessible. I mean, you could have it as a hobby. Um,
Yeah. So in my case, to not get repeat with Alex, I would say that maybe the 3D printing also enables every student, a mechanical engineering student and biomedical engineering one, to first prototype their ideas. So maybe if they have some ideas and some crazy ideas, they can perform it and print it to better see that, oh yeah, it was like a bad idea, it was a good one, to iterate on the ideas and to finally get, I don't know, but maybe a viable product to get into the market, or to learn it. So I think that this is also a very good point of 3D printing that enables almost everyone to get their ideas that were not real, uh, to get it in their hands. So maybe it's also an interesting approach of 3D printing.
Okay, great. Well, I wanted to finish this interview off by asking you if you had any personal projects related to this technology, which I'm sure you have, and if you wanted to promote them so everybody can see.
Well, currently, me and Martí are working on a platform in order to teach not only 3D printing but also Arduino. In order and in this platform, we will be showing some videos in order for the people to learn about these topics. And then we will be designing some practical courses that we can do presentially in order to make everyone fall in love with these technologies, which are very focused on prototyping. And as my colleague has already mentioned, it can help you get your ideas to the real world, and they are really cool. That's what I have to say.
Yeah. In this course, what we want to teach or to say is the idea of fast prototyping and combining 3D printing and, for example, Arduino. You can get very cool and nice ideas in the reality. And we have also like another part of this project that is printing on demand, because we have also observed that some people want maybe to print something and they don't have the printers or the capability. So we also provide this service to everyone that send us their ideas, their STLs or so on, to print it by ourselves and then send it to them, because we think that it's also a good option. For example, if you have in your house something that it's broken and you need a new piece, and maybe you have the STL or you have the, I don't know, some ideas, you can contact us and maybe we will try at least to have a replication of it. And
it also tries to convert the technical concepts that a career like biomedical engineering teaches you into practice in the real world with tools that are being used currently in industries. And I believe that it's a great way to get familiarized with new technologies and with practical world case scenarios.
Well, it's really interesting. We will look forward to hear more from you. And if you launch this platform on the future, we'll try to do another interview and try to see how it goes. Well, thank you very much for being here today. And yeah, we'll be in contact.
thank you very much.